All right, welcome back, kings and queens. We're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. I've said it and I joke, and I've been joking for like a year or two that Love and Marriage Huntsville is the gift that continues to give and give and give. And if Carlos could capture the reality of it all on the show, it would make it better. Because I think it was Dustin that says what we see on the screen isn't necessarily what's happening in real life with this cast. But I want to talk about the revenge P. And my question is, Carlos King. Let me back up. Let me back up because I don't want to get ahead of myself. Um, Many years ago, when I came to start watching the show Love and Marriage Huntsville, I was flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted because the abuse of it all, the abuse, the bullying, the harassment of it all. And I was just completely taken aback that this was happening on this type of network to this degree, right? I would I would expect to see something like this on Love and Hip Hop, but not even to this extent because sometimes you see those kind of shows over there, they fight, they get it over with, they move on, or it's a new target. But there was never a new target, and Melody Cherie has continued to remain the primary target. With that being said, the first thing I thought when Carlos King decided that he would be best suited and well fit to interview the cast on the reunions, immediately I believed he doesn't like her. His energy, his attitude, his demeanor, for me, what I was picking up is he's not very fond of her. Okay. And that happens sometimes, with producers and cast. But what I did not expect to happen is for him to continue to insert himself between the cast and Melody Cherie. So as the seasons grew and as the seasons went on, I think that producer is setting her up to be attacked and bullied and harassed because he wants to snatch her off her broom. I've always wondered and scratched my head, what does Carlos King have against Melody Cherie? Which brings us here today regarding this conversation. Did Carlos King set Melody Cherie up with this revenge P? Did he set her up? And I'm starting to think that there could be a great possibility that he did, because Carlos, more and more women are starting to come out the box. They're starting to speak out publicly against you regarding your treatment, the hostile work environment that you've created for Black women, women of color on your shows. We're not talking about your previous body of work. We're not talking about the relationships that you've established with different women in Bravo. We're talking about your own projects where women are starting to say, I don't feel safe with you. I did not feel safe with you. This is a male dominated atmosphere. It's highly volatile. It's not safe for women. You have male producers yelling, get her, get her, get her. You have male producers calling female women, the women bitchs. You have production staff cursing out other production staff. And to me, Carlos, when I see situations like that, they are only mimicking, in my opinion, what's coming down from the top. Let's talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
It seems like, based on what's going on social media, that Marsau Scott popped out, y'all, in a Facebook group, and he was not having it. And it seems like he came out to defend his name. Now, I'm gonna read his comments that he left allegedly in this group on Facebook. But let me give you a little bit about what I believe is happening here. I don't feel like, I don't believe Marceau is willing to take the brunt of what's happening within production. I think he's clever enough, he's savvy enough to understand what's happening. He knows the assignment, but at the end of the day, I think he also is sending a message. I'm not about to be the fall guy for this BS that's been existent before me. I'm not about to be the fall guy for this shit that the producers were well aware of prior to this ever making the airwaves. And Carlos, I think he's talking about you. But let me dive into what Marceau shared in this Facebook group. He says, because the revenge porn came to us a year before it was announced by someone who told us to stay out of it. Who announced it? Who announced it, y'all? The only person that I remember, that I can recall using the likelihood of Melody being on tape was Carlos King and Martell Holt at the reunion. Who would Marsau Scott respect enough when it comes to Melody and Martell that if they asked him to stay out of it, he would oblige? It damn sure isn't Martell, in my opinion. I don't think Melody would have that type of conversation with them. So if it came out a year before we heard about it at the reunion, that would mean Martell had this set up during season 1 of Love and Marriage Huntsville, because we heard about it in the season 2, right? At the reunion. Now, I heard about it. I heard Carlos really stood firm confronting Melody about her having his own words, a penis in your mouth. You think you would remember. So who would have knowledge of this and then issue an order to the rest of the cast to stay out of it? We got it. Carlos, by process of elimination, as it relates to giving directives, giving orders, I would say you. Number one, because you're his boss. Number two, you write his paycheck. Number three, they were so inexperienced in season 2. Of course, they listened and did and trusted your leadership. Okay. So I am going to say, Carlos, what were your intentions then? Because that's a crime. That's a crime. Let me, it's a crime what Martell did. Is there a reason that you did not, or you impeded the other cast members from saying anything, giving Melody a heads up, or even contacting the authorities? Allegedly. Let's continue. I want to make it very clear that Marsau starts off by saying the revenge P came to us a year before it was announced by someone who told us to stay out of it. I'm going to say Carlos. That's what I'm assuming. They had the video and was supposed to be releasing it. We didn't know how true it was at the time, but we told them anyway not to do no dumb shit like that and stay away. In that instance, I think Martell had made it known to everyone that he intended on doing something that was against the law. And it sounds like Marsau is saying, once I got wind of it, I didn't know if it was true or not, but my feedback to that person that said they were going to release it is, don't do no dumb shit like that. Okay. Now let me ask y'all something. Well, I'll wait. I'll wait. So when the story was confirmed by the victim, who is Melody Cherie, it was a corroboration. Oh, so when the story was confirmed by the victim, it was a corroboration, not me hearing it initially. I think people in a fight can do unforgivable damage to each other. I know that each of them have done some foul shit to one another, and I simply don't care about their drama. However, there are certain things that a person can do when they are upset that causes me to lose respect for that person. I agree. I can ride with him on this one. You see people go back and forth all the time. But it's the crazy one, the devilish one, the dark one that takes the shit where it has no business going. And I think what he's saying is Martell is that one. He says, I've completely lost respect for him. Have you guys ever drawn the line in the sand when you see somebody about to go down a dark road against somebody else? Do you say something? Because I'm starting to believe a lot of you don't. Based on what I saw last night, a person being blocked from different platforms and coming back again and again and again and again, to me, that's a little creepy. That's a little weird. But let's just say if it were your friend, when you see your friends and or associates about to do dumb shit, do you say something? Do you turn the other cheek? Do you pretend to not know? Or do you completely disconnect from that person? I want to know. He continues on and he says, putting out revenge porn on your ex-wife is one of those things. Sorry, I'm just not cut like that. The narrative seems to be that Marsau always takes jabs at Martell about infidelity. The truth is, Marsau said in season 1, Martell has been a busy little bee and joked about having 2 phones, filmed in 2018, he says. Y'all, this is nasty work. What he's saying is, listen, Martell has been busy way before y'all caught on. Martell has been busy before Melody even confronted him. Martell has been a busy little bee. That was my first time even saying anything at 2018, but I kind of feel like he's letting us know this has been going on. Just for fun, can you name a single comment Marcel made about Martell's infidelity in the last 6 years/8 seasons? Have you ever seen an interview with Marcel and a blogger? Fun fact, y'all can't find receipts about me taking jabs about Martell's infidelity because there are none. Ooh. There were 2 comments which I apologize for my insensitivity at the cabin and changed my behavior. I don't normally defend myself, but I just wanted you to be aware of how far the narrative is far from the truth. So are y'all coming at him because he's holding Martell's feet to the fire as a man to say, listen, your infidelity is not important to me. The child that you had outside of your marriage is not important to me. The mistress that you keep is not important to me. What's important to me is your character, your integrity. I don't rock like that. I don't like you. I have no respect for you, and you can't sit next to me. You mean to tell me y'all have a problem with that? Is that what the outrage is about? Because I know the narrative is protect Black women. And what he's doing is protecting the integrity of a Black woman who happens to be a victim of Martell. What he's doing is protecting the dignity of a Black woman. So let me ask you something. Is this one that y'all are wanting him to stay out of? Don't protect her? Don't say nothing? Let's turn a blind eye? I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with him, but I'm saying is that what the backlash is, that he felt like he had to come out on Facebook and defend his name because y'all aren't wanting him to say anything as a man to another male castmate that has been unhinged for a number of years. So if you don't want him to say anything and you want Martell off the show, who's supposed to do it? Because Carlos damn show ain't gonna do it. Maurice damn show ain't gonna do it, and neither is anybody else. I don't understand the ask. Y'all walk me through it. Make it make sense to me. Let's take it to the chat.